So, how did animation art styles get started in the first place? Well, the first ever known means of animation is from the Shari Sukata. I definitely butchered that. Archaeological site in Iran. The bowl dates back to 3178 BC, and works by spinning it rather quickly, and focusing your eyes on the images on the side of the bowl to create the illusion of movement. And then nobody innovated for 2,000 years. Anyway, during the first millennium BCE, someone in Central Asia decided to invent shadow puppetry, which is this really cool, simple means of projection where you just shine a light source onto some cloth and manually animate some paper cutouts to create stories. This became widespread rather quickly as a means of entertainment. And then nobody innovated for 2,000 years. 1000 AD was around the time of the premiere of the revolving lantern, which was a device that essentially automated shadow puppetry by rotating multiple cutouts around a light source. And then, just like shadow puppetry, the shapes of these cutouts would then be projected onto thin sheets of paper. Luckily, we don't have to wait another 2 millennia for the next innovation in animation. Because at some point in the 1600s, some fella realized that replacing the cutouts in shadow puppetry with stained glass panels would provide some color for your projections. And so, the magic lantern was born. Granted, nobody had yet figured out how to get these glass panels to move properly, but that didn't stop the magic lantern from becoming widespread, even making its way to Japan in the 1850s, by means of an enforced treaty with America in order to prevent the colonization of Japan. The magic lantern also became quite popular amongst the artists of the Phantasmagoria, which is just such a Victorian name for what is essentially a horror show. Sometimes I wish I lived in Victorian times. Actually, wait, no I don't. I probably have been poor and racist. Then finally, the 1800s saw massive developments in the realm of animation. And most other things, to be honest. In 1827, the thaumatrope, a toy which would combine 2 images on either side of a disc by means of the user simply spinning it fast enough, caused people to realize that the human eye actually maintains an image of everything it sees for a few moments after it stops seeing it. Meaning that if you were to, I don't know, show someone a bunch of images in quick succession, they might perceive that as smooth motion. So now, armed with this knowledge, everyone lost their collective minds, starting with one Joseph Plateau, who would invent the phenakistoscope, which was a wheel that when spun would create the illusion of movement when you focused on the images round the side of the device. Finally, Victorian-era technology has caught up to the 5,000-year-old pottery. Time is so awesome. Anyway, after this, somebody decided to raise the edges of the phenakistoscope and put some slits in some paper to invent the zoetrope. Then somebody literally just put a mirror in the middle of the zoetrope and called it a praxinoscope. Nice work, Charles Emile Reynaud.